Hey guys, garden update as we're getting prepared for spring. I was just checking into the wood chip piles here to check on our mycelium because I put a lot of mycelium in there, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's tearing up the wood chips over here. So we should get some really nice Stropharia mushrooms growing. Like, look at that, it's completely covered, completely just a whole pile of edible mushroom mycelium on these wood chips, so that's really wonderful. Toss this banana in there and cover it up. But yeah, we should get lots of edible mushrooms, and we're gonna plant lots of crops in. I just pulled out all of the dead or dying leaves from the kale, so all of this is either new growth or stuff that was still kind of alive. Just taking off anything that wouldn't be as edible, and burying it in the soil or in the wood chip compost here to add a little bit of nitrogen, feed the soil microorganisms so that they can in turn feed the plants. So yeah, got a lot of life going already this spring. You can see this one doesn't even have any growth from the top, but it's starting to shoot out new growth off the side. So it looks like we're gonna have some good harvest. Oh, Emmett dug up the banana peel. I hope he's enjoying it. So yeah, other than that, just got some straw in. Gonna be growing some oyster mushrooms on some straw, just letting it dry out a little bit in the sun here. It got a little bit wet last night, but I can't believe it. It's March and it's like 70 degrees and it's staying warm at night already. So definitely wish I would have started my seeds a few weeks earlier, but everything's gonna be good. Probably gonna buy in some plants. But yeah, all the beds are doing good. And like you saw, there's lots of mycelium. And there's all sorts of oysters, and most of this half is all Stropharia mushrooms. This entire bed is all Stropharia mushrooms. And then back here is a mix of oysters and other mushrooms that I put to compost, but I'm pretty sure it's dominated by the oyster mushrooms. But we'll see when we see what fruits out of here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the update right now. Alright, so this is my second year of intense composting. The first year I moved in here was 2014. I moved in the fall of 2014. I scratched up the grass. I laid down leaf litter in the borough of New Cumberland where I live in Pennsylvania. The people in the neighborhood put their leaves that they rake up on the side of the road to be vacuumed up by a machine. So I just went and collected all of it, laid it out, and then I covered it up with all the moving boxes from when I moved into my new house to do kind of a sheet mulch or lasagna mulch. And then I covered it with wood chips from the local area from whenever I see a chipping truck chipping down some branches of a tree. So this is the second year, and I have added nitrogen from kitchen scraps and adding leaf litter and things like that into the wood chip mix just to heat it up a little bit and get it going. And I've also inoculated it with edible mushrooms. So if you dig down in there, what you'll first see is lots of the edible mushroom fungus. And what it's doing is breaking down the wood chips and creating this dark, rich soil in working with soil microorganisms like worms and stuff like that. So yeah, just like I said, second year gardening, and we got rich, dark, black soil to work with and grow our food in this year. And anywhere I dig in here, I'll find local native worms. So I didn't introduce any worms into these piles, and there's just loaded with worms anywhere I dig. Any mushroom farmer knows this green stuff all too well. This is trichoderma. It's a green mold commonly found on bread and fruits, and also commonly used as a beneficial fungus inoculant for plant roots. So that's what I do. I mean, a lot of people compost this anyways, but you can direct add this to a root zone of a plant, and it will actually be very beneficial to the root zone of the plant. So Anybody that grows mushrooms and gets infected with trichoderma mold, you can save that and increase the health of your organic crops. So this is worm castings or worm compost from this bin that I kept outside all winter, and it's filled with live worms. This is the healthiest bin I've ever had. A lot of people said I wouldn't be successful with keeping my worms outside all winter, but this has been a success. I know other people in the local area that's been able to keep red worms outside. One of my mentors, Rafika Muhammad, over in Harrisburg, has been able to keep her red worms outside. And she says once they've been out there that they're more tolerant to being out there. So that's really awesome. And they really thrived on this myceliated law book. As you can see, they all just live on and in this book. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting all the worms to run away from the light so I can harvest this compost off the top. So you can see all the worms are just at the bottom of this compost here. I just put this down, so soon they're all just going to be in a big ball at the bottom that I'll be able to take my worms and put them into new material so I can get more compost, and then utilize this compost for all my seed starts that I'm putting into the garden this year, and also to top dress whenever I plant a seed, just to give it some extra nutrients when I plant my seeds outside, and utilize if I ever notice that I need some additional nutrients in any of the gardens, just to keep everything organic. We're turning all of our food scraps into the nutrients that we need and keeping a live culture of worms to continue processing the food scraps. We can feed the worms to our chickens, and we can also use them for bait when we go fishing and stuff. So yeah. Really awesome, and this is pretty much how you harvest your worm compost. The worms do not like the light, so you just put your compost in small piles and they'll all just huddle up to the bottom. So yeah, that's what we're doing out here with the compost, and this is how we're preparing for our gardens this year. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, share on Facebook and Twitter, share on all your permaculture blogs, favorite gardening blogs, anything like that. Other than that, it's just been an urban permaculture video, and we're going to feed ourselves lots of good food this year, all organic.